Hey, y'all. For those of you who don't know us, we're the bowling team with Coldwell Banker Residential Brokerage. I'm Randall.
And I'm Virginia. And we are a husband and wife team that work with buyers and sellers in the greater Columbia area for residential properties. If you are a buyer, that could mean that we find you a lot to build on. It could be an investment property to make some money on the side, or your dream home. If you are a seller, our goal is to market your property on a multitude of platforms so that we can get the word out and get it sold in the least amount of time for the most amount of money.
And we just want to introduce you to a new platform we're using called Zoom. Zoom really is an effective and also a safe way for us to communicate with both buyers and sellers during this time. It's real simple to use. What we'll do, we'll send you an email and you'll click on the link and you'll kind of bring it to a screen, kind of like the one you see right now.
Yeah, and it is a nice alternative to just hearing a random voice on the other end of the phone, especially if you're a new client. But even if you're not, it's nice to kind of communicate on here so that you really get an idea of how the other person is feeling instead of just interpreting words. We all know how that can work sometimes. But this is our way of doing our part to respect the social distancing requirements that are put in place right now. And we have a lot of ways that this can help with buyers and sellers. But right now, we are going to focus on telling you a little bit about how we can help our buyers.
And what's real cool is a cool feature about Zoom. We can actually share our screen with you as we speak and have our meeting. So this is our search. This is actually a search we did for someone in Forest Acres recently. And we can pull up all the properties and kind of walk through them with you.
And so one thing that helps is with us on the screen communicating together. As a buyer, you would be able to see the photos of the listing and we would scroll through them with you. And instead of I know it's hard when somebody says, what do you want in a house? What do you not want in a house? That's kind of putting you on the spot, and it's a little easier to go through visually and say, oh, I love that about this. And sometimes you don't even know why you like something or why you don't. But when you see it, you can say, I don't know what it is, but something about that is great. Something about that isn't great. And that can help us kind of narrow down the search. And in the process of narrowing down a search, we are keeping the community and real estate agents working in Columbia a little safer by having fewer people visiting listings. So we are doing our best to narrow things down to exactly what you're looking for so that we keep you safe too.
And we can also kind of go over some forms with you associated with the listings. This one right here is a property disclosure of this listing. And this is a form that is required by the state, and it's for the seller to fill out to the best of their knowledge, everything that they know about the property. And we can kind of, walk you through it and guide you through it.
And that way we're able to kind of explain how these things work. If you're a new home buyer, or, even if you haven't bought or sold in the last few years, this form and many of the forms in real estate change every couple of years. And this is a relatively new one. I think it's 2 or 3 years old. So we can go through that with you. And sometimes that can help narrow down the search too. It is no replacement for an actual inspection. But if it gives us details like, hey, this house has a new roof or new windows, new HVAC, that kind of thing, it could maybe put it higher in the list. And if it has a deal breaker listed, then we could take it off the search. And that's one less house where you're not wasting your time, leaving the house and being susceptible to germs. One other thing that we have that we'll go into detail in another presentation because we don't want to make this one too long is something that we send out. It's through a program called Moxie. But for buyers, we are able, once we narrow down your search options, we can send this to you where you can access via email or your phone, and it gives you all kinds of details, and it's interactive, so it's based on how you click, and goes listing by listing. And so we'll go into that in more detail later, like I said. But
And once you find the property that, our properties that you would like to look at, we'd be happy to show them to you. We have put in some, new safety precautions.
Which are good in general. We've got plenty of gloves on hand for you and for us to use while seeing properties. Hand sanitizer for afterwards. We love normally to drive you around, and especially if you're new to the area, to explain, the differences in certain neighborhoods and pros and cons, and kind of introduce you to areas. But unfortunately, right now, we're just trying to be a little more careful. So we ask that you do meet us at the properties and drive separately. And then, again, another one that feels weird, standing 6 feet apart or more, just to keep everybody safe. But we're doing our best with what we've been given right now. And if we can help you in any way, we would love to be there for you.
And we just want to thank you for, listening to us today. Like she said, we are going to kind of go over some more of the things we can use this platform for buyers and sellers as well, and kind of how we can communicate during this time with you. If there's anything that we can do to help you, please feel free to reach out, 803-351-0740. And we appreciate you listening. Thank you.
Thanks so much for watching, and just be patient with us. We're still figuring out this whole video thing, a lot of new stuff, but thanks for listening. Have
Stay
a good
safe.
one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.